ワールドベースボールクラシック WBC2026 の準々決勝が行われる日本時間3月14日。MLB は大谷翔平と侍ジャパンの競合チームと題し、侍ジャパンの歴史を取り上げました。日本は野球で世界一なのか？日本旋風はどこまで広がるのか？など、イチロー選手の時代から現在に至るまで、ワールドベースボールクラシックの歴史を通して、日本のメジャー挑戦を振り返りました。また、米メディア、ESPN-MLB では、現在オークションに出品され、数百万ドルの価格がつくと言われている、大谷翔平選手とアーロン・ジャッジ選手の2人の直筆サインが入ったトップスカードを紹介していました。ここからは、その様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Is Japan the best in the world at baseball? If you watch, it's okay to admit it. You've definitely had this thought over the last few years. In 2006, maybe you thought about it and laughed. 3 years later, maybe that thought got a little more serious. By 2023, you were asking your friends this question. And 2025, when Ichiro got 393 of 394 possible Hall of Fame votes, and Shohei Ohtani did this?
Shohei Ohtani, the stuff of legend!
Well, now those questions are getting really loud. But this has been building and building for the last 25 years. In that time, Japan's influence on American baseball has changed from a question mark to a giant exclamation point. We're going to tell you how all of this happened so fast. And as amazing as the rise of Japan has been, we'll tell you why 2026 is just the tip of the iceberg. But for now, we'll go back to the very start. And that start is right here, in a boring-looking conference room in the year 2000. If you had to pinpoint a moment where the big bang of Japanese baseball and MLB started, this is it. Because this is where the Mariners signed Ichiro to be the first ever Japanese position player in MLB. I know there were Japanese players who made the jump before then. Shout out Masanori Murakami and Hideo Nomo. But Ichiro was different. He was a baseball god in NPB, a 3-time MVP and a celebrity. He was Japan's Michael Jordan, and he was going to answer the question on everyone's minds, can Japanese hitters translate to MLB? This may come as a surprise knowing what we know now, but a lot of people seriously doubted Ichiro's ability to make the jump. Don't believe me? Fine. Listen to him.
When I came to America, many people said I was too skinny to compete with bigger major leaguers. Someone even said to me, don't embarrass the nation.
At the very start, even his own manager wasn't sure.
We were in spring training, and obviously Lou Piniella was our manager. He was standing on the top step, and Ichiro kept hitting choppers, high choppers over our dugout in spring training on the third base side. He said, can I see you pull up ball one time, son? And Ichiro kind of turns his head, and he looks, and he's like, you're talking to me? So he goes up his next AB. He hits a ball. He hits it over the bullpen. He comes in, everybody's giving him high fives. He gets ready to sit down, and he goes like this. So how do you like that? And everybody just died laughing. From that point on, Lou never said another word to him.
What the doubters didn't know is how long and hard Ichiro had prepared for this moment. From third grade on, Ichiro practiced baseball for a minimum of 5 hours a day. Every day of the year. That swing that Lou Piniella wasn't sure about? Japanese coaches didn't like it either. They'd never seen anything like it. But Ichiro spent his whole life fine-tuning it, starting in his backyard using a shovel as his bat, and then later with full days spent hitting 500 pitches in the batting cage. By 2001, that swing was perfect. So Ichiro didn't just succeed in America. In fact, you could argue he had the best rookie year of any player ever. The AL Rookie of the Year, the AL MVP, and the best player on the best regular season baseball team of all time. That season swung the doors to MLB wide open for more Japanese players. Hideki Matsui was signed by the Yankees at the end of 2002 and proved that a power hitter could succeed in the world's toughest market. But the next big wave of stars would hit after a shocking victory on the global stage. The 2006 World Baseball Classic was billed as a showcase for MLB superstars to represent their countries. Everyone assumed this was America's chance to show off its dominance to the world. Maybe with some competition from the Dominican Republic. Japan had their own homegrown star in Ichiro, but only one other player on an MLB roster. There were plenty of fireworks from the big names in the tournament, but Japan did what Japan does. They brought their brand of fundamentally sound baseball, and they beat everybody. Of course they hit home runs. Everybody hits home runs. But Japan had 62 singles. Only one other team in the tournament had more than 62 total hits. The Japanese offense ended up sending several hitters to MLB, but the real revelations came from the pitching staff.
Japan sends out the 25-year-old right-hander Daisuke Matsuzaka.
He led the league in ERA in both 03 and 04 and probably is the best pitcher Japan has to offer.
Daisuke Matsuzaka was the first of many Japanese players who exploded onto the world stage during a WBC tournament. He went 3-0 to win the MVP and then sparked a legendary bidding war when he was posted later in the year. People were even convinced Matsuzaka threw a secret pitch called the gyro ball that may or may not even exist. And oh, by the way, Koji Uehara won a pair of games as well and went on to have an incredibly successful career as an MLB reliever that not enough people talk about. He had a .266 ERA in 9 seasons and one of the great closer seasons of all time before locking up the 2013 World Series. We should talk about Koji Uehara more. When the WBC came back in 2009, Japan wasn't going to catch anyone by surprise. They were the defending champs, but just like in 2006, they had an ace up their sleeve.
A bright, shining young star, not only in Japan, but in international baseball. He has really lit it up.
If Daisuke was a star in NPB, Yu Darvish was a supernova. In the 5 seasons from 2007 to 2011, he never posted an ERA over 2, and the 22-year-old was at the peak of his powers in 2009. While Matsuzaka took home his 2nd straight MVP, Darvish announced his presence with authority.
That's in there, and Japan's going to defend their title tomorrow night with a 9-4 win.
He led the tournament with 20 strikeouts in just 13 innings, and after a rocky 9th inning, it was Darvish on the mound in the 10th, locking down Japan's back-to-back WBC titles.
Swung on and missed, and Japan has successfully defended their World Baseball Classic title.
Darvish dominated the NPB for 3 more seasons before signing with the Texas Rangers in 2012. 2 years later, the Yankees signed Masahiro Tanaka. Japanese names were becoming more and more common at the top of MLB rotations, and the next big name was already being talked about, but the problem was nobody believed what he could do because it had never been done before. American fans first heard about Shohei Ohtani in 2012, when he announced he wanted to skip NPB entirely to sign with an MLB team. He was a high schooler, throwing 100 miles per hour and hitting 500-foot home runs. He was a freak show. When he eventually stayed in Japan, the legend only grew. And legend was really the only way to describe Ohtani. A player like him only existed in video games. Shohei finally landed in Anaheim in 2018, and the doubters' voices were loud.
Is he going to embarrass somebody? Is he going to be as bad as everyone says he's been?
Awful in spring training.
Some scouts called him a high school level hitter. Some even said he had to pick between pitching and hitting. Well, Ohtani decided to pick option 3, everything.
Driven out to center field. That's got some sound. Ohtani-san has done it again.
It's like he's playing travel baseball.
Since coming into the league, Shohei Ohtani has rewritten the MLB record book and then started writing his own. He's won 4 unanimous MVPs and hit 40-plus home runs in the same season he struck out 200 batters. And he became the first player to be selected to an All-Star game as both a pitcher and a hitter. For the first time in MLB history, the best player in baseball came from Japan, and he was only getting started. By the time the 2023 World Baseball Classic rolled around, Ohtani was a worldwide phenomenon. And Japan wasn't a plucky underdog. They were a juggernaut. The world came to watch Shohei, but as usual, Japan had a new ace as his co-star.
The most prolific strikeout pitcher in the league.
You have the 2-time reigning Sawamura Award winner that is given to the top pitcher in NPB.
At least for now, Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the final boss of Japanese pitchers. 3 consecutive Sawamura Awards, the Japanese equivalent of the Cy Young, will do that. To give you an idea of how impressive that is, here are the 2 guys who have won 3 consecutive Cy Youngs. And like any great movie, the ending was legendary. Japan versus USA, Ohtani versus Trout. When Ohtani struck out Mike Trout to win the title, it wasn't just a trophy for Japan, it was definitive proof that international baseball ran through Japan. For Japan, all that was left to prove was dominance in the best baseball league in the world. And after Ohtani and Yamamoto signed historic contracts with the Dodgers, the results were immediate.
To beat the champ, you gotta knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles.
Undeniably impressive. But it's the way that they won that people will remember. As we showed you earlier, and you definitely remember, in Game 4 of the 2025 NLCS, Shohei Ohtani played the greatest baseball game of all time. If you can find a better one, drop it in the comments and get downvoted to oblivion. I would say it's peak Ohtani, but that would probably be a perfect game with 5 home runs, and I think we all know better than to put limits on Shohei Ohtani at this point. Yamamoto decided that he'd also do something never seen before. With the season on the line in Game 7, he did the unthinkable and closed out the World Series on 0 days rest. I could describe how incredible this was, but it sounded a lot cooler coming from MLB players and coaches who were legitimately shocked at what he did.
What Yoshi did tonight, is unprecedented.
Yamamoto's a savage.
The guy pitched yesterday and started. I still can't get over it.
Will never be done again, maybe.
That was incredible.
Where does Japanese baseball go from here? In the short term, the pipeline is flowing. Mutataka Murakami, Tatsuya Imai, and Kazuma Akamoto all signed big free agent deals this winter. Roki Sasaki will get another chance to make the Dodgers into a 3-headed monster in year 2. And I didn't even mention Shota Imanaga or Seiya Suzuki in this video, along with a litany of other players and pitchers who are making their presence known in MLB. But the long-term outlook is mind-blowing. And this is where we get back to 2026 being the tip of the iceberg. The TV ratings in Japan for the last 2 World Series were higher than almost anything else on television. In a country of about 123 million people, 12 million people tuned in to watch Game 7 of the World Series. Think about that. A whole generation of Japanese kids just spent their October watching their heroes conquer the world's biggest stage. As those kids grow up over the next 10 to 20 years, there could be an influx of Japanese talent like we've never seen before. So the question isn't whether Japan can compete in MLB anymore. The new question is, how far can this Japanese takeover go? Guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I have always loved collecting baseball cards. In fact, Topps released my very own card in this year's Series 1 baseball set, featuring a moment where I had the chance to throw out the first pitch at T-Mobile Park in Seattle last summer. From the bump, by the way, it was a sweeper, it was a strike in the corner. But when it comes to baseball cards in the market in 2026, no name is hotter than Shohei. His one-of-one gold logo man card sold for $3 million in December, and the value of every Ohtani card continues to skyrocket like one of his home runs. But Shohei, he isn't the only holy grail many people are chasing in the hobby. His MVP counterpart in the American League, Aaron Judge, he made headlines earlier this week as Fanatics Collect broke the news that a one-of-one Bowman Chrome Superfractor rookie auto featuring Judge sold for over $5 million. Now, what if I told you there was a card featuring both of these current stars? A gold dual logo man card signed by both Ohtani and Judge. Well, that card, the Topps Chrome 101, made its way here to ESPN with its own armed security. And I'm not kidding, they're watching closely. Now, both of these gold patch logo mans, they come with a story. How about the Judge one? It came from a game against Ohtani and the Dodgers last May. That night, Judge hit a 446-foot home run while Ohtani blasted 2. It marked the first time in Major League history that 2 reigning MVPs hit home runs in the same game. They're going to allow me to touch it. I don't have gloves on. This modern-day grail is currently being auctioned off by Fanatics Collect, and the bidding is well over 7 figures right now, and it remains open until next Thursday, March 19th. I'll keep it safe. I promise.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。